Well, hi again, everybody. I'm Paul Hart, 5th grade teacher and creator of some of the digital content right here at Eastview Elementary School. We're a school belonging to Community Unit School District 300, right here in Algonquin, Illinois, USA. Welcome back to What's the Big Idea? The digital content you're about to see is meant to demonstrate teamwork, technology, problem solving, and applied learning. We at Eastview intend to show how we're making connections with the students, the school, and the community. Now, in the past few years, this webcast has even elicited responses as far away as New Zealand and even Australia. So we're continuing to try to network, to interact, and discover just how far this new technology will take us, understanding all the while we're learning too. Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to What's the Big Idea here at Eastview Elementary School. And today I'm here with some Eastview educators and an administrator. We have Gail Hamilton, teaches special education. Welcome back.
Thank you, Paul.
You've been on before. You're welcome. And Jean Gritter, 2nd grade teacher. You've been on as well.
Yes, I have.
And we welcome today Administrator Principal Jim Zursin. Hi.
Hi, Paul.
Today we're here because we want to talk a little bit about something wonderful that happened at Eastview this summer, and it was the summer reading program. And it wasn't just any reading program, something quite special. But first of all, Jean, how did this begin? How did this start?
Well, this all came about through dialogue and discussions between Mrs. Hamilton and Mr. Zursin regarding the need to have a strong summer reading program. I do believe it was Jim who, when he came in here, administrator at Eastview, thought that the kids just needed reading was first. Reading was the most important. So we looked around at some options that we could to get a strong reading program for the summer.
And Gail, weren't your kids a part of that as well?
Absolutely. We found this bookadventure.org program where the students will read a book, and they have to be accountable. They actually have to answer some questions about it. So for primary students just learning to read, they read a lot to their parents. And sometimes they talk about it, sometimes they may not, but they don't ever really have to be accountable for what they read, when they're doing free reading or something at home. So that's kind of a different take on it, a different step that I thought my students needed to get used to doing.
And I would say truly in many districts across Illinois, across the nation, summer reading is becoming more and more a part of their culture and curriculum, and really they're expecting students to continue reading throughout the year.
What are some ways to encourage young readers? Talk with your infant or young child before he learns to read. Read to and with your child at least 30 minutes each day. Sing songs and recite poems and rhymes that have repetitive sounds.
I think that's where we had some of those discussions, and I think Gail kind of got us started, and then what we did was we had Jean really pilot the program in our classroom.
It was a great experience to be able to try it out on a classroom full of students, whereas in the summer they're at home, you have less control over helping them, assisting them. We were able to set up the whole school in the computer lab, run through it with them, and then my class actually got to participate for the whole last trimester, and it was wonderfully successful. The kids really enjoyed taking the tests. They really enjoyed the achievements and the accomplishments when they did pass certain levels.
And they're excited about it.
Oh, very excited about it.
That sounds great. And parents got to be involved in the summer. How did the community come into this?
When we piloted the programs was that we wanted to get feedback from parents at home to see how they felt about it and what their reactions to the program was, because we did need their support when we sent the program home over the summer to support the program.
And was it necessary? Was there
Absolutely.
a need for it?
Right. And also, was it kid-friendly? We wanted this to be an independent program for the students so that they would read the books, they would be responsible to go on the computer and do the work themselves. And the feedback was very positive.
They wanted it.
They wanted it. They wanted it. And it reached a lot of readers who before maybe didn't pick up the book. Now they had a challenge before them.
Sure. Now, we had this great kickoff here at Eastview before the school year ended, and it involved every student in the school getting together in the gym, and it was phenomenal. It was something that I'd never seen here.
The main thought process throughout that day was, as Gail and Jean are both modeling the shirts, the idea was we created a syllabus for each student. So when each student went home over the summer, they had an ID and password that they would log into the website with. They had a syllabus. They had directions. They could show their parents what they were expected to do on the summer, because on the front of the shirt it talks about the Eastview Summer Reading Program, but then on the back of the shirt it says, "Ask Me." So the whole idea was to send kids home with a shirt, the syllabus, to get people talking about it. So once that person walked through the door at home at night, they would say, "What's up?" And I would hope that these children were saying, "Mom, Dad, I got to read this summer, and I can't wait to start reading."
Now that the school year has begun, what's the follow-through? What's the follow-up? What's going to happen now with this extension of the summer reading program?
Well, I think we're really going to try to keep talking about reading, and I think as a staff we all feel the importance of reading is essential. You have to be able to read and be able to comprehend what you've read to be successful, not only here at Eastview but in future grades. And I think we're going to continue to talk to parents about the importance of reading, and I think teachers will continue to use two different programs that we have at Eastview. That's an outside reading program that does use comprehension as a piece of the program, because reading for minutes really is falling by the wayside as a sort of dated, antiquated way for a summer reading program or any program
really
to take place.
Yeah.
And so you add that comprehension piece, you add the piece where students go on the computer. There's so many skills involved that can transfer into the everyday workplace or everyday way of life that's so important.
It falls into the same category as with writing as well, because a lot of times students will ask, "How long does this have to be?"
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that's really not that important.
Right.
Right.
It's important is what you're putting into it and the feeling. If you get going on a piece of writing, just like reading a book, you can't put it down.
Right.
You'll keep going and keep going and keep going. What are some ways to encourage school-aged readers? Encourage your child to read on their own at home. Keep a variety of reading materials in the house. Encourage your child to practice reading aloud. Write short notes for your child to read. And encourage activities that require reading.
Yeah, the positives are really outstanding. We've read and passed quizzes on over 1,100 books.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I think that really says a lot for the students of Eastview, who you talk really about the positive things that students embrace and they just run with. We've had teachers who on their own have sent cards and notes home to students saying, "Great job, keep reading." So the Eastview community in different ways have all participated in this program to make it successful.
I like the fact that this program demonstrates that reading is not just about reading a story, but there's accountability and there is a form of assessment. But I had heard that some of the assessment was pretty precise, pretty specific, and you know that's a talking point. But then again, when the kids do have to sit down and take the ISAT tests, and something has to be very precise. I'm thinking of the fifth grade. I'm a fifth grade teacher. The fifth grade extended response math problem. You have to be precise.
That's one of the things I like about the quizzes. You couldn't have read that book last year, or my mother read it to me when I was 3 and answer the questions. Okay, it really needs to be pretty fresh in your mind in order to answer the questions.
And I think it also opens up, as you were starting to mention, the dialogue with the parents. Sometimes the parents don't know the questions to ask their students about what they're reading, or their children about what they're reading. And these questions kind of give you a starting point that hopefully in the future parents will know some things to ask. Well, who were the characters? What was the problem in the story? You know, it's kind of a jumping board for dialogue, I hope.
And I think many parents expressed to Jean and Gail how thrilled they were to see their students become more independent, to read a book, to take their own initiative, to get on the computer and take a quiz. And I think that that's something that was expressed over and over again.
There are nice teacher tools involved in this. We can get class reports. I can see exactly what books my students read, what grades they got on each of the quizzes, what are the reading levels of each of the books, exactly when they took the test, whether they, time frame, date, and time, so that I know if they took it at school or if they took it at home. I can get comprehension percentages, all of those things. Just give us a little more information on the child.
One of the things that looks to be really exciting this year will be in the fall we're going to be doing some EASTVIEW'S testing. EASTVIEW'S is a test that's research-based that is a predictor of future reading success for students in each grade level.
So you're hitting them early.
So we're going to hit them early, and then we're also
Yeah.
going to be able to. What we're really hoping to show is the growth of students who participate in summer reading, and show how important it really is that kids read. Continue the skills that they've learned each year, to continue that through the summer. Something that you hear my teachers say, you might hear teachers say in the fall is, man, I have to do some, back work and do some reteaching of some concepts. What we're hoping summer reading will also do is sort of be a launching pad to just really launch into the new year, instead of kind of muddying around in the waters a little bit and then really getting going. So we're really hoping that it's a drive. It's just something that kids are coming in thinking, practicing skills, and are just ready to go for the start of the year.
What are some ways to encourage school-aged readers? Establish a reading time, even if it's only 10 minutes each day. Talk with your child. Give your child writing materials. Restrict television time. Visit the library once a week. Work in partnership with your child's school. So overall, how would you say this program fits into the goals of the strategic plan that the school district has developed?
One of the things that the strategic plan in District 300 stresses is the need for rigor in classrooms. The strategic plan mentions that they heard former students in District 300 say that they felt maybe they weren't challenged enough, and they need to incorporate more technology into the classroom also. So this takes care of two things that the strategic plan asks for. In other words, we are challenging students by increasing our demands on them. We want them to be able to comprehend what they read. In addition, we're incorporating technology into the classrooms and in technology use at home, so that students are becoming more technologically savvy, if you would.
Well, that's about it for this edition of What's the Big Idea? I'd like to thank our guests today, Gail Hamilton, Gene Gritter, and our principal, Jim Zursin, here at Eastview. We've got a great staff. We're looking forward to a wonderful school year. Thanks for watching.